Hello, welcome to another video from Small Sense. I have a slightly different one today. This is the parts for my new bike. I'm swapping from a Banshee Prime to a Banshee Rune V3. Frame arrived about half an hour ago. And I have some wheels and tyres and a few other little bits and bobs. So I thought I would open them all up on camera, get my impressions. I'd already opened the package for the wheels. Those arrived about a week ago. So yeah, I haven't seen the frame yet, so very excited for that. I'm gonna start with the wheels, I reckon. These are Nukeproof V2 Horizon wheels. They came with a bundle with ARD front and rear. I probably won't run these, but I know a few people who would like to get their hands on them, so those will be up for grabs. I then have front and rear. Start with front. So these are 27.5, 30. I think it's 30mm internal. Come with tubeless tape already and tubeless valves pre-installed, which is fantastic. They have 32 spokes and they are alloy. My last wheel had 28 spokes, but it was a 29er. And it was very compliant. These are going to be a whole lot stiffer, I think. So that's wheel number one. Wheel number two, the exciting one, I guess. One of the other things which drew me to these wheels was sorry, our catch is coming. One of the other things which drew me to these wheels was the engagement on them. So for £300, you got front and rear wheel, 32 spokes, and they have 3.5 degrees of engagement, which is plenty for me. My last one had 7 degrees, I think it was, and those were some Shimano's, some Shimano hubs, and those were pretty good. I like those a lot. Oh yeah, also in the box comes with tubeless Lifeline sealant. Apparently it's a refillable bottle, which is fantastic. Also comes with a little like squeezy top, so no more like sloshing and getting all over the place. There you go. They're a bit difficult to get back into the box, but that's these Nukeproof ARD with sealant. Great little bundle. £300 for all of it off Chain Reaction Cycles. I was going to go with Hunt Trail rims, which have 28 spokes and 5 degrees of engagement, but these look like the slightly nicer deal, so I've got these instead. In this box, to fit onto those 27.5 inch rims, I have a Maxxis, Maxxis tyres front and rear. I had Maxxis on my Roscoe, but they were kind of XC casing, so these are the first downhill Maxxis tyre I've ever tried. They have a Minion DHF in 2.5 on the front. It has 3C Terra, EXO and TR. Well, tubeless ready, so that's awesome. And then on the rear, I have something similar. I have a Minion DHR2. Basically, this one doesn't have 3C, but it's EXO compound and tubeless ready. This is for the back. And then I've also got, keeping in theme with the Nukeproof, I've got a little bottom bracket, and I've got a stem. I've got a Horizon stem. I was surprised by this. I thought it was going to look different, but when I actually got it, it looks different to what I thought it was going to look like. Oh, it's starting to rain. I'm going to go inside quick. Okay, so sorry about that. It started to rain. So I'll come inside. So as you can see from the previous bit I just unboxed, got the tyres, got the tubes, got all of that sort of stuff. Now it's time to open this. So I went for a Banshee Rune this time instead of a Prime. The guy at Custom Cycles was very, very kind and offered to buy back my previous Banshee Prime frame from me for obviously a reduced price, and that meant that I could get this one in a size up. Okay, so starting with a box. I'll open these in a minute. I'll come back to these, I think. Lots of extra padding to keep the frame secure. Right. There we go. Yo, look at that. I love the black on it. I went for a chrome last time, like a raw outlay that Banshee do, and this time I went for the matte black, and that looks amazing. What do you guys think? I'll get some close-ups of it, hold on. So it's got, so up here, it says Banshee Rune, has the Banshee logo on the front. It's got a, I think this is the DPX X2, Float X2 Performance Shock. Last time I had a DPX2. This is a 160 rear bike with slightly shorter chainstays, a longer reach, slacker head angle. So very excited to ride this one. I love the black on it. Wow. One of the cool things about Banshee is that they have these dropouts, so you can run different wheel combinations on all of the bikes. Yeah, I like this frame a lot. Yeah, so I went for an extra large this time, which has a 495 reach. I'm 6'1", so I think that should fit me better than the large last time, which had a 470 reach. So with the extra large, I have a 495 reach. I have a 619 stack. A lot of these big travel bikes have a slightly thicker or bigger head tube basically, because they've got more suspension and their rotor support. But Banshee are known for having quite chunky ones. Top tube effective 645 doesn't really affect it too much. Apparently that helps when pedaling because it brings the cockpit closer together, so you're in a slightly more upright position. Helping with that is the seat angle, which is 76.2 or 76.7. I'm guessing if that's depending on if you've got the low mode or the neutral, or sorry, high, I guess you would call it. So they have two options that you can flip around. I think that happens at the back, I think, with the dropouts. You can do a lot with the dropouts basically. Head angle is 64 or 64 and a half. I think that's depending on whether you run a 170 fork or a 160 fork. That could also be the high or low mode, I actually don't know. Seat angle 76.2, head tube 140, chain stays 435 to 437. And I'm guessing that depends on what wheel you put in the back. I watched a couple of reviews on this, and apparently if you measure it, it isn't actually that number. Apparently it's around 441, which is also fantastic. It sounds like a good number. A bit shorter than my last one, which was 450. 450 chain stays with a 470 reach. It felt like you had a lot of, like the front was too short and the back was too long. Whereas this one is kind of a little bit more balanced, I'd say. What else have we got? Wheelbase 1273. This is the same wheelbase as if I got the smaller travel option. So that's pretty cool. They haven't gone crazy with that. What else have we got? bottom bracket height is 344 or 352. I think it's a little bit lower than the last bike I had. I think it's going to be a little bit more slouched, a little bit more kind of like closer to the ground, a little bit more stuck to the ground basically, which I'm excited for because it should make for a more stable bike, although it probably won't pedal as well, but I don't mind. So you're supposed to run a 170 fork on the front, right, and a 160 shock in the rear obviously. I don't have a 27.5 fork, and I didn't want to spend £500 on getting a new one. So what I've done is I've kept my 29 fork, but I've lowered it to 160. So instead of 170 fork, I've got a 160 fork. And obviously this rear shock is 160 as well, so it does work. But because it's a 29 fork, I've got a little bit more height basically with the fork. So I think it will probably even out to around 170-ish, roughly that. We'll see how that gets on. If it feels a bit too funny, whatever not, I can just work out with my stack and whatever that sort of stuff is, get the front end thinking how I want it. It's a 27.5 inch wheel bike, and that basically does everything for it. That is all of the information. It is their Banshee special alloy material. I'll quickly find the name of it for you. They have I think Pole used the exact same type of metal, but it's basically super stiff. As stiff as apparently it's as stiff as some Yeti bikes, which is quite impressive, but without the tinniness and without like the kind of harsh ride quality, because alloy, unlike carbon, absorbs a lot more of that kind of trail feedback, which is amazing. So I'm really excited to ride this, and I love that black look. It's got glossy decals. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on camera, but it's got glossy decals. Yeah, that looks sick. And what else? That's pretty much it. I'll quickly read out what it's suggested as to be. Alright, since the initial Rune was released, it has been one of the cornerstones of the Banshee lineup. Racing, enduro, or tackling a big epic big mountain adventure, the Rune has got you covered. No other bike inspires confidence like a Rune. And that sounds like a lot of fancy words to say. It's extremely stable. And yeah, I would agree. The one thing that a lot of people said to me I was stupid for was changing from 29 to 27.5. And going obviously up in the travel as well, when really the trails that we ride, you don't need 160, but at the same time, I've never had a big travel bike, and progressively I went from a 120 mil bike to a 140 mil bike to a 160 fork on my last bike, and then I lowered that down to 150. So I've been going up in size basically progressively, and I had a 29 on my last one, 27.5 as well before that, and I just didn't like how direct and fast it was. I wanted that kind of like nimbly, like kind of more playful, alive feeling. I feel like the 29 kind of just deadened the trail a little bit for me, and also it made just everything a lot tighter than it needed to be, which took some getting used to, but I just didn't gel with that. I didn't like the feeling of it that much. Obviously still an amazing bike. Banshee Prime is a fantastic trail bike, but I think this one for me will make me a little bit more happy, make me enjoy my road a little bit more. So yeah, that is the Banshee Rune. I will do a further review once it is built up. My friend James is going to put all the parts on, so yeah, hopefully I might be able to ride it this weekend, and I'll do a little bit of a review there as well. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.